Hello there. So today I am going through my entire Charlotte Tilbury product collection to bring you the best and the worst of the brand. So this is a full Charlotte Tilbury brand review. I'm also going to be talking about the products in between that just, kind of fall somewhere in the middle. I did this video 2 years ago, but I've tried a lot of new things since then. My perspective has changed on several products. And for me personally, when I'm trying to make a buying decision, I find brand reviews really helpful, and that's part of the goal of my channel, is to help you guys make better buying decisions. I know I'm a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury, but not everything works for me, believe it or not. I do have some favorites and some fails. So my friend Samantha March is joining me in doing this Charlotte Tilbury brand review with her collection as well, and we have different skin types and obviously different products. So I'm interested to see what she thinks are the best and worst products from Charlotte Tilbury as well. So if you are not familiar with Samantha March, she is just a super sweet, genuine YouTuber and a very close friend of mine here. We talk pretty much every single day. We are both multitaskers. She is a self-published author. I have my social media consulting. And of course, we have our YouTube channels, and we both juggle 1,000 other things as well. So we definitely have that in common. She has one of the most active Instagram profiles I have ever seen. She is always on that platform doing something really fun. And she's just a genuine human being, and you will get honest reviews and videos from her channel. I just really enjoy her. I know you will too if you don't follow her already. So once you finish this video, be sure and head over to Samantha's video, check out her collection, what she thinks are the best and worst products. Tell her I said hello, and be sure and subscribe to her channel as well. And if this is your first time here, if you came over from Samantha's channel, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. I would love it if you would consider subscribing before the end of this video. And let's go ahead and get started because I have a lot of products to go through. The first product I want to talk about is the Magic Vanish Corrector. I have dark circles and discoloration under my eyes, so a corrector is part of my daily under eye routine. I always use a corrector before I go in with concealer. I wasn't expecting to like this. I think because of the pan format, I thought it was going to be drying. I always moisturize my under eye area well, and when I apply this, it's very creamy, it's very thin, so it's not like I have a big heavy layer underneath my concealer. The shade I have for my light, medium, warm skin tone is medium. It's a deeper peach than my regular corrector, but it works perfectly at counteracting the discoloration. This is one of the two correctors that I reach for constantly. It is one of Charlotte's best products. In my opinion, it works really well for my dry under eye area. It never accentuates that dryness or the fine lines or crinkles as the day goes on. I absolutely love this product. So this next product is kind of a twofer. This is the Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash. Now, I know I said I have dry under eyes, but I have oily combination skin. So a lot of radiant products I have to be very careful with, and a lot of them I don't like. And this is a radiant primer that diffuses the skin to give a beautiful glow. It's kind of a skincare and makeup hybrid because she does put, her special ingredients in it. That's kind of what Charlotte is famous for. I find that it does help my makeup last longer. I'm able to get that radiance without greasiness, which is hugely important to me. And it absorbs very quickly like a lotion, and it feels really light on my skin. I love not feeling like I have an extra layer of product on my skin. She does have another similar primer. I think it's called the Youth Glow that I had at one point, and I did declutter because I found them to be very similar and I didn't need both. Now, I wouldn't say it's one of the worst products. I just kind of feel like if you have one or the other, you don't need both. That's just my opinion. You may feel differently. I just felt like I did not need two glowy radiant primers that essentially gave me the same look and feel underneath my makeup. So I ended up sticking with this one because I kind of liked the tinted version better. That's a personal preference. I would say it kind of falls in the middle for me though, because it's not, an essential product that I need. There are other radiant primers out there that I think are great. The next product I don't even have anymore because I decluttered it. it. I tried to work with it a lot and it just never really worked for me, and it was a shame because I really, really loved the shade, and I feel like a lot of people don't even know that she makes this product. So I'm referring to the Beach Sticks. Let me know down below if any of you have these, or if you have had these, or if you use them now. I had the shade Formentera, and it was a really, really pretty shade, but I just found them to have kind of a sticky, tacky texture that wouldn't go away. And I have way too many stick and cream blushes that I love that don't leave a texture, so I purged it. I'm gonna talk about these two products in one. The first Beauty Light wand that I had from Charlotte Tilbury was her original Spotlight. This is a very, very popular cult favorite from Charlotte Tilbury. And then later on, I got the Pinkgasm. So these are the two that I have. And I have to say, there's a lot that I love about these, but there's a couple things that I don't love. So this is gonna be, you know, kind of a your call kind of thing on what's important to you and what's not. So what I'll say about the highlighter, the Spotlight. If you want a highlight that is easy to apply, blends out easily, can be built up or sheared out and still look beautiful and natural, and apply over or under powder products easily, this is your girl. This is a great, great product. Now the Pinkgasm I thought was going to be really, really just too shimmery to use as a blush, but I love using it because it's kind of like using blush and highlight in one. It gives me everything in one step. Same thing, you can pile it on if you want for a heavier look, or you can really sheer it out. It's just really easy and it looks beautiful every time I use it. So to me and a lot of people, the applicator is a big drawback. It is this sponge that just barely fits over the top of the cap. It can get very, very messy. You turn the product to squeeze it out, and sometimes a lot of product comes out at once. It can just be very messy. That can drive a lot of people crazy, and there's not a lot of product in here. There's 12 mils. I do find that I don't use a lot when I use these, but you know, both of those could be a drawback to some people. For me, I just don't have anything that substitutes for either of these in my collection, and so that combined with just, you know, how beautiful they look, how easily they apply, that outweighs for me the applicator issue. These are in my top favorites from Charlotte Tilbury. Love these. At one point in time, I did have both the Magic Cream as well as the Under Eye Magic Cream, if that's the official name, in my collection. I did really enjoy them both. I thought that they did nice things for my skin when I used them, but they're very, very pricey. And I do have other products that I can use to where I don't have to, you know, spend that kind of money to get similar results. So for that reason, those kind of fall in that middle category. If you really want to spend some money and have some really pretty packaging and, you know, get nice results, then by all means, I think they're great products. They are just pricey, and they do have, you know, that kind of expensive fragrance to them too. Some people like it, some people don't. So they're in the middle for me for that. I have to say, Charlotte Tilbury's new Airbrush bronzer has just soared its way into my top bronzers. It has the same texture as her Airbrush pressed powder, which is just super, super silky. A lot of times with matte formulas, you get some kick up on your brush. You have to tap it off before you go in to touch your face with your brush. I don't have to do that with this. It is so, so beautiful on the skin. You can use it all over your face, all over your body, and it looks totally natural. I got the medium shade because that is the closest shade to the Fair Light shade in the Film Star Bronze and Glow. This was a top product for me, and I guess it still is for travel, because you do get a neutral bronzer that can double as a contour and a highlight in one. So for travel, I do love the Film Star Bronze and Glow still, but for just a daily bronzer, because the pan's so big and because I get more pigment out of this bronzer, this sits at the top for me as one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products and one of my favorite bronzers. It is really, really good. So this is kind of a 2-for-1, but I did just want to also touch on the highlight. This is a very natural looking highlight. If you're wanting a powder highlight and bronzer, this is a lighter bronzer than this one, and it's a little more neutral. I do have to use a heavier hand with the Film Star Bronze and Glow than I do with the new Airbrush bronzer, but it still shows up on my skin. And they do have this in a medium deep version as well. Since I just referenced the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, I'll go ahead and talk about that now. This is one of my favorite pressed setting powders for the under eye area. You can tell I've used it quite a bit. I do have shade 1 Fair because it's as close to translucent on my skin as I can get. I don't like to set my face or my under eye area with any product that will change the color of my liquid and cream products underneath. This is so beautiful, especially if you have dry under eyes. It's not really a brightening powder under the eyes, but it is a smoothing powder. Truly, truly lovely, smooth texture. And I'd say if you have normal to dry skin, this is great for setting the face. And as a combination girl, I can get away with this if it's not too hot and humid outside. It's very, very airbrushing, pore blurring, just beautiful on the skin. It doesn't look like powder. Definitely one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. I do have a backup waiting for me when this runs out. Okay, let's talk about the Hollywood Flawless Filter, the product that everyone went nuts over for months, except for me. I could not bring myself to even buy it at first because I just couldn't see how I would ever use 1 ounce of a shimmery liquid cream type product. I mean, this is the size of a foundation and I have oily combination skin. So how is this ever going to work for me? It took me months to convince myself to even buy it. I do have shade 3, by the way, and I am really glad that I got it because it is a true multi-purpose product. You can put on underneath foundation as primer. I don't like to do that though because it doesn't really work as primer as far as keeping my makeup on very well, but I do like to kind of sandwich it in strategic spots between my primer and my foundation. On the high points of my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, wherever. You can mix it into foundation as well, and you can place it as a highlighter over foundation. It really does look like a beautiful dewy glow. It doesn't look like you're wearing highlighter, and you can also put it on your body. So I am kind of glad that I have this big size. I've found that I've been reaching for this a lot. This is definitely one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. I'm going to cover all of the foundations in one because I think that'll be the quickest and most thorough way to do it. So the first foundation I'll cover is the one that I don't have anymore because I did declutter it. It just did not work for my skin. So it is a fail from Charlotte Tilbury for my skin type, and that is the Light Wonder foundation. If you have dry skin or normal skin and you like a sheer lighter coverage foundation, I think you'll really like that foundation. It did not work for my oily combination skin. I do like sheer light coverage foundations, but it was way too dewy for my oily combination skin. So that was one of the worst products for me from Charlotte Tilbury. Now I have both the Magic foundation as well as the Airbrush Flawless foundation here, and I am in shade 6 in both of these foundations. So I've talked a lot on my channel about the Magic foundation. It's really pretty for just kind of a soft, radiant look. It blurs the pores. I think it's great across all skin types. It lasts a long time. It's actually one of my favorite foundations and just got bumped out of my Holy Grail foundations video because I discovered another foundation that I like just a little bit more, but this is still way, way up there. Love this. One of the best products in my opinion from Charlotte Tilbury. You can get a really beautiful medium full coverage look without looking like you're wearing heavy makeup. Super, super nice. So I kind of forgot about this Airbrush Flawless foundation for a while because it was in the back of a drawer and I just hadn't been seeing it because I'd been using other foundations. It's really good for those of you who have oily combination skin and have a hard time keeping foundation on your face. It does give medium to full coverage. I usually apply it with a sponge to kind of sheer it out a little bit because it looks more natural that way, but it does look nice and matte, but not too matte. It gives an airbrushed finish. It lasts a long time. I really do enjoy this, and I'm kind of upset that I forgot how much I liked it. I did do a full review on this foundation. I'll link that down below so you guys can see it, but this is really, really good for you oily combination skin people out there. People tend to have mixed feelings about Charlotte Tilbury's powder eyeshadow. Now, I don't have every single quad that she makes, but I do have 4 of them here. I have the Golden Goddess, the Uptown Girl, Exaggerize, and the Luxury palette in Copper Charge. I also have the Pillow Talk palette as well as the Charlotte Darling palette, which is, you know, kind of a mini palette, but it's got several shades in here. Now, the first quad that I ever had was Golden Goddess, and I was a little bit disappointed. I just felt like it was kind of dry and sheer, and I don't know, I just didn't use it a lot. But a few months later, I picked up Uptown Girl because I wanted a cooler toned palette, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I showed both of the other two in my latest makeup haul. If you didn't see that, I can link that for you down below. But I would say these are the same quality as the Uptown Girl quad. I've really, really enjoyed using these. Charlotte's quads are intended to enhance the eyes. They're not going to blow you away with super pigmentation. So if you're someone that wants that, these are not where I would go. I would go with, you know, another brand entirely. If you're wanting to enhance your natural beauty, that's where these fall in. They're going to give you kind of a sheer, really blendable formula with an easy wash of color and some pop to the eye if you want to do that. And that's what I do like about them. They're not quads that I use every day, and for that reason I do put them kind of in the middle, and also because of the inconsistency. I don't know why one of my palettes doesn't have the same quality as the other three. I don't know if that's a thing or what, but I will say these palettes, the bigger palettes with the, you know, longer type of eyeshadows in them, I feel like the quality in these is really, really great. And I get kind of upset every year because she does a limited edition palette like this and then it just goes away. I wish she would come out with more varieties of these longer type palettes. And I do really enjoy having this mini palette to travel with because I can get more of a look from this than I can with the quads. I like to have something that's going to highlight my brow bone, and the quads, they don't give me that, but these do. At one point, I had Charlotte's Full Fat Lashes mascara and absolutely loved the way it made my lashes look longer and more voluminous, but it flaked so badly on me after about 5 or 6 hours. I just couldn't wear it. So unfortunately, it is a Charlotte Tilbury fail for me. I really, really wish it would have worked because I loved the mascara otherwise, but I cannot deal with a flaking mascara. So that one was discarded. Let's talk about one of my very, very favorite Charlotte Tilbury products, and also one of my favorite products in this product category, period. These are Charlotte's Cheek to Chic blushes. If you have not tried these, I highly encourage you to do so. Her blushes are very unique, they're very flattering, and again, just blurring to the skin. They don't ever enhance anything that you don't want them to. So you can see here on Ecstasy, they have this outer ring that you swish onto your cheekbone, and then they have this center pop shade that you can place onto the apple of the cheek. I like to do it kind of above the apple, just, you know, to help lift a little bit. And then I like to kind of mix the two shades together and lightly dust across my nose, on my forehead, just to kind of, you know, make everything a little more cohesive. I just love this formula. It's super flattering. It lasts a long time. I never have to worry about going overboard or anything. It's just one of my favorite blushes ever. I feel like we used to hear about this product quite often, but then I don't know what happened. We never hear about it anymore. This is Charlotte Tilbury's The Retoucher. This is a retouching concealer. So if something ever happens with your makeup after you've applied it, or something happens during the day, this is a retouching pen. You can apply it, blend it out, and it doesn't mess with your makeup underneath. This falls in the middle for me. It does a good job of doing what it's supposed to do, but I do find that there are concealers in my collection that I can do kind of the same thing with, so that I don't really have to spend the money on this. I feel like I used this a whole lot more when I first got it, but it's not something I carry around with me in my purse or anything, and it just very rarely gets used these days. So yeah, this is not a fail. It just kind of, you know, hangs out in the middle. I am in shade 2. So let's move on and talk about a product that I'm kind of struggling where to place this, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer. A lot of us, including me, went nuts when this first came out. This is a hydrating, weightless, full coverage concealer that gives a natural finish, and it's got all kinds of ingredients in it that are supposed to do really good things for the under eye area as well. And I did really, really love it when it first came out. However, it also has that same sponge applicator that the Beauty Light wands have, but in a much worse way. I was finding that my cap would not open and close without quite a struggle, and it was suggested to remove the sponge. So I did that. I removed my sponge, which, you know, is fine, but I just find that I very rarely use it. I can't even close my cap all the way anymore. I don't really understand the whole sponge concealer thing anyway, because it's not like you're gonna blend it out with the sponge that has a ton of product on it. You just need to squeeze it out and apply it and then blend it out with your fingers or your own sponge that has no product on it. So the sponge was useless anyway. This concealer just doesn't do anything more for me than my Pat McGrath, my Armani, or my Too Faced Sculpting Concealer. And so I just feel like it kind of just falls in the middle, kind of at the bottom of the middle for me now at this point, which is such a far cry from where I initially placed it. But, you know, the packaging, the little amount of product you get, and the dispensing mechanism, even if the sponge was still here, it's just, yeah, that kind of just did it in for me. Let's talk about another skincare product. This is Charlotte's Magic Serum Crystal Elixir. I know a lot of you have been curious about this product. I've been using this for about 2 months now and have some thoughts. I'm going to be brief though in this video because I have either just released a video on this product or I am releasing it shortly after this video. So you're going to get my full perspective, the good and the bad on this product. I love how my skin appears right after I apply this. It does make it look more radiant and glowing and brighter and healthier. It sinks into the skin so easily and absorbs right away. It does make my skin feel more hydrated, but without any stickiness or residue, which is really important when you have oily combination skin, especially if you're wearing it underneath makeup. This is not just a niacinamide serum. There are a lot of other ingredients and complexes in it that I will touch on in the other video, but a lot of them aren't really glaring at you in the ingredient list, so they're not really obvious. I did take before and afters for that video, so be sure you're subscribed so you can see that video. But you know, the price, it's $80 for an ounce, and I do feel like I have run out rather quickly, but I think I may have been using a little bit too much in the beginning. And there are 65 ingredients. Again, a lot of complexes and things in this product, and fragrance is listed as the 45th ingredient. And I know that's a thing with a lot of people. Has it done things for, you know, my deeper forehead wrinkles? No, that's, you know, what I would need Botox for, but I am seeing some other things. So stay tuned for that video. I'm putting this at the upper end of the middle for me because I love the results, but there are some drawbacks to the product. I know a lot of you really enjoy Charlotte's Genius Magic Powder, her loose powder. I did not. And I know a lot of it has to do with my skin type, but mine in particular had a weird fragrance to it. I have heard that that was some weird batch or something. I could not get past it in the one that I had. I also found that I had to use a super light hand for it not to be too glowy on my skin because of my skin type. And that's the reason why I think a lot with normal or dry skin really do like the powder. But for me and my skin type, the powder was just no. I'm a busy girl. I'm a multitasker. I like to get ready as quickly as possible whenever I can and streamline if I am traveling. Here on my channel, it's no secret how much I love a good all-in-one face palette, and Charlotte Tilbury's face palettes are no exception. I have 4 of them. I would have 5, but I did purge the Natural Glowing Beauty at one point because it was just a little bit too light for my skin. I kept Beauty Glow and Seductive Beauty, both of which are no longer made. And I have Smoky Eye Beauty here and Gorgeous Glowing Beauty here. And these were both on the Charlotte Tilbury website last time I checked. You truly do get everything you need in a palette here. You have your highlight, your Swish and Pop blush, your bronzer, and 3 eye shades. And it's really everything you need. I've used that bronzer as a transition shade tons of times. I've used the highlight on my eyes. They're very versatile, and the mirror is large too. So if you're wanting to get ready quickly, these are great for that. I absolutely love them. The quality, as always, is great. I really thought I was going to love Charlotte Tilbury's Brow Lift because it's got that elongated shape that I love for applying brows really quickly. And I thought I had heard that a lot of people really enjoy it. But for me, it was just wide enough that it got dull super quickly. So I felt like I was applying more smudges on my brows than I was, you know, fine brow strokes. It just wasn't the brow product for me. It is in the fail worse category for me. me. I'd love it if she'd come out with a really fine brow pencil. I think she'd do that really, really well. I did also have her Legendary Brows, which is her brow gel. The shade I had was a little bit too dark for me, but I love the way it functioned as far as giving pigment and a little bit of oomph to the brows and holding them in place. Mine just dried out, and I've got a whole brow gel wardrobe over there, so I just didn't need to replace it yet. And I'm not sure what shade to get either. There are so many brow gels out there that I think that you could find one for a little bit less money. So for that reason, the Legendary Brows falls in the middle for me. I can really only speak to one of her pencil eyeliners, and that is Pillow Talk. I do have it on today, and I think it gives a very beautiful kind of reddish based brown look. I would say if you are someone who wants a smudge proof all day wearing eyeliner, this is a great one. I'm someone that likes to kind of smudge and smoke out my eyeliner sometimes. It can be kind of difficult to do that with this. You have to work kind of quickly. So I do one eye, go in and smudge, and then do the other. And even then, I can't get like a really great smudge going on. This is more of a precise eyeliner with just a little bit of a smudge around the edges if you want to do that. But as far as, lastability, this stays on. And I do think that the color is really unique. It's not so red that it makes you look tired. So I would say this is kind of upper middle for me, just because I do like something that smudges a little bit easier, but that's the only reason I wouldn't put it as one of my favorite products, because the shade is pretty unique and I enjoy it quite a bit. Now, an eyeliner I don't enjoy quite a bit is the Feline Flick, which I feel like she's kind of known for. So this is her liquid eyeliner, and it's just got kind of a fine tip there. I just found that it didn't really stay on in areas where my eyes got watery. I don't wear liquid eyeliner often, but when I wear it, I want it to stay on even if my eyes, get a little bit watery or teary or something, and they do that. I have sensitive eyes, I have dry eyes, and this did not do that. It just kind of wore away in those spots, so it was just a big, big no for me. If you follow my channel, you know how much I love cream and liquid and stick eyeshadows. And Charlotte Tilbury's Eyes to Mesmerize formula is one of my favorite formulas of cream shadows. I couldn't figure out what to call these for a second. Yeah, they are cream pot shadows. What I love about these is the moussey texture and how easily they apply and blend out. And I feel like you can see that texture even just when you're looking in the pot. I love that you can build them up or shear them out, just like with many of Charlotte's products. Depending on the impact that you want, I can layer them with each other, which is something that I love. They play well with powder shadows as well. I find that they last on me and they don't crease. Now, having said that, I do need to set my eyes with an eyeshadow primer with pretty much any product, but if I do that and then apply these over them, perfection. Some creams and liquids and sticks make your eyes look dry and wrinkly, or they, crease up during the day, and these don't do either of those things. They just look beautiful and they enhance the eyes in such a beautiful way. Absolutely one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury products. And if you wanted to know my 2 favorite shades out of my 4, I'm gonna go with Rose Gold first, love that shade, and Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette is just so versatile and great across different skin tones and eye colors. Okay, so you may be realizing that there's a huge category that has not been discussed yet. Yes, I have been saving all the lips products for last because I have a soft spot for a lot of Charlotte's lip products, but there are a few not so much. The first lip products I will mention are these guys right here. These are the Superstar lips. I feel like these are highly underrated. Now, I like these in the sheer shades rather than the super bright, dark shades. The reason why I feel like people either love these or hate these is because they are kind of a sheer formula that feels kind of like a cross between a lip gloss and a lip balm, but in stick formula, if that makes sense. And so as a result, they don't last forever. But that's the reason why I love them, because if I just want to throw something on and have it look really nice and flattering and feel good on my lips, these are a great option. They do, in my opinion, last longer than a gloss, and they feel really great on the lips, and they're flattering too. I am down to just the shades that I absolutely adore at this point. I have purged everything else out that I just, didn't need in my collection. So I have two little tiny Hollywood lips here, and I'm really glad I got them in this little set because I don't really like them. I know some people really think these are great for a liquid lipstick. I'm not a big liquid lipstick person because I find them incredibly drying, and I avoid anything that makes my lips feel dry. These do make my lips feel dry. I also feel like they accentuate any lines that I have in my lips. I found them a little bit clumpy as well, and just overall not flattering. So these fail. I remember the first time I purchased a Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. I can't remember if it was Pillow Talk or Iconic Nude. Those were the only two I had for a long time because those are really the two that you hear about all the time. But I remember thinking, how different can these possibly be from any other lip liner? And they really are. They glide on the lips. They almost kind of hide your lip lines in a way. It's kind of weird the way they do that because it's not like they're creamy, but they really, really do help other lip products adhere better if you do fill in your lips with them as well. The shade I have on today is called Love Trap, and I feel like that shade is so underrated. It's a little bit deeper than my natural lips, but it just works so well with so many different shades of lipsticks, and you just never really hear about it. I do have a couple of other shades. Again, I'll flash these on the screen for you, but Love Trap and Iconic Nude, I would say, are the two I wear the most, followed shortly by Pillow Talk and then the other two. The Collagen Lip Bath was not a product that I thought I was really going to fall in love with, but I really do enjoy it. I have the shade Peachy Plump. I think that's what it's called. Yes, Peachy Plump. This really does feel so good and nourishing on the lips, and I love the fact that I get a nice look, and it's doing some good things for my lips and hydrating as well. It also has kind of a nice, refreshing, minty scent. Now, I don't really love the heart-shaped applicator. I just find it doesn't make application easier. In fact, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So that is a drawback to me for these. And I know there are other lip oils out there, but this is one that I kind of reach for a little bit more because it does have that, radiant sheen to it. And I feel like it's got a little bit of, just additional benefits to it. So I would say this is, really high up there for me. It's not, one of the best, but it's really high up there. Here's the thing with Charlotte Tilbury and her lipsticks. Her Kissing formula and Matte Revolution formula are packaged exactly the same way. And if you're someone who really doesn't like a matte formula, maybe you just, like a little more hydration, but that is what you happen to try and you didn't realize it, you may think that Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks aren't that great. On the other hand, if you're someone who wants a formula that's really gonna last many, many hours and you happen to try the Kissing formula, you might think that Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks don't last that long and you may not like them. So just know that in her gold packaging here, there are a couple of different formulas. She also has her Hot Lips 2 collection that has various formulas as well. I kept 5 of those and 5 in the regular Hot Lips collection. That was not intentional. The shade that I have on today is Glowing Gen from the Hot Lips 2 collection. And what's unique about the Hot Lips 2 collection is that these are refillable. You can actually pop this out and purchase another shade or the same shade and put it in these really pretty cases, which, that's pretty cool. I prefer the Kissing formula. That's just my preference. I would rather have a somewhat long-wearing, creamy, hydrating formula than a longer-wearing, matte, dry formula. That's just me. So for me, the matte formula, they're somewhere in the middle because I do love the shades that she has. I don't not like them, but I don't reach for them and love them like I do the Kissing formula. The Kissing formula is one of the best products that Charlotte Tilbury has, in my opinion, but overall her lipsticks are just really, really great. And depending on your needs and what you want from a lipstick, I think you can find what you're looking for with a formula or a shade because her shade selection is really nice and she does have such flattering shades. If you haven't seen my Holy Grail foundations video, it has my picks for different types of foundations for different situations. I will link it here for you, and be sure to go check out Samantha's video to see what she thinks is the best and the worst from her Charlotte Tilbury collection. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.